Today, we're going to be checking out the Sekhmet Overdrive from TDSFX. So plenty of you might be familiar with truck driver Sean. He started his own pedal company, and this is his first pedal, and it's an Overdrive. He's been kind of sending it around to people to check out. He asked if I'd like to check it out, so he loaned me this one. I think he said it's his personal one, which is cool. But I wanted to check it out because it's cool to support other people in the YouTube community. It's awesome to see them doing well and to be starting their own pedal company. I think that's really cool. So this thing's pretty simple. You have a high and low control. Obviously, high is going to control like the top end kind of cut, like the upper mids, and then you're going to have the low control controlling like the bass response, the low end. Then you have a volume and gain control. There's also an internal control on this. If you're not really digging where the mid-range is sitting or how it's gelling with your gear, you can adjust this to kind of adjust where that mid-range sits to dial it in where you like it. I ended up not messing with it because truck driver Sean said he already had it set to his preferred setting. So I kind of just wanted to show this off the way he preferred it, the way the creator of the pedal, meant it to be. But it's in there, and it's definitely important if you want to adjust something, you have that option. Now, this thing has so much volume, crazy amounts of volume, too much volume, more volume than you would ever need. I don't foresee any amp I'd ever need to hit so hard with that I need to go max on the volume, but it has it there if you need it. This thing is really, really modern sounding. It is definitely a modern voiced overdrive, and what I mean by that is the mid-range is very, very like upper mid-rangey, very cutting, very aggressive. It gets everything really stringy, tons of pick attack. And then you can get this thing, if you dial back the low end on it, you can get super, super tight. So if you have something extended range or something like that, or if maybe you don't need it quite so tight, you can pump the bass a bit, and this thing will actually get really, really, really chunky. And then it has a bunch of gain on there if it wasn't enough that you're slamming the absolute ass out of your amp. So for that in mix, I was plugging into this with my Solar guitar, which I have loaded with Seymour Duncan Black Winters. And that was actually going into my dual rectifier, my Rev G, just because, it's a fun amp to boost. But also I kind of wanted to see how tight this thing could be, especially because, those amps tend to be a bit tubby on the low end. And it definitely definitely tightened that thing up. I mean, you were able to hear in the in mix, and really made that thing cutting, and added some much needed mid range to that thing. It just made it sit in the mix super good. So just like we had with the in mix, for the out of mix, we're gonna have my Solar with the Black Winters plugged into the pedal. That's going to be going straight into the front end of my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier Rev G. And then that's all going to be going into my Two Notes Captor X, which has a VM12 and DV77 IR blend on it. And it's mostly the DV77. It's like 97% the DV77. I just blend in a tiny hair of that VM1265 for a little bit added to the mid-range, but it's mostly a DV77. So we're gonna hear that as a boost, and then I wanna hear kind of how it boosts a different gain structure than just the dual rec. So we're also gonna have this hit the BE channel of my Friedman BE Deluxe, and then to hear how it responds as just an actual overdrive into a clean channel. We'll also have it go into the clean channel of my BE, 50 Deluxe, and that's again all gonna be going into that Two Notes Captor X with that same IR blend. Let's check it out. So I think you're picking up what I'm putting down on it being a very modern drive, very cutting, lots more pick attack, kind of stringy sounding, very aggressive. This is definitely not what you would call a transparent overdrive. This is going to transform whatever you plug it into just an absolute monster. Like I said, with the volume crazy, like it was pushing the clean channel so hard, it started to get kind of high gain on my BE50 Deluxe, and that thing is clean. So this thing has absolute volume for days. So like I said, this was super cool of him to send over for me to check out, and it's even more cool that he has his own pedal company now. Like I said, I love gear, he loves gear, we all love gear in this community, and it's cool to see somebody not just love gear but actually start making gear and like kind of jump into that side of the world. It's awesome, and I just wanted to support more people in the community and be kind of like, you know, positive voice, and I think that's killer. So I'm going to have a link down below if you'd like to check this out and, you know, go show him some love. I would love to know your thoughts. You know, leave a comment down below, but thanks for watching. Stay metal.